If your home has an empty vase sitting in any of these spots, throw it out or move it right away before it invites trouble into the house. No matter how large, how beautiful, or how expensive that vase is, putting it in the wrong place is like setting a jar with a hole in the bottom right inside your own home. However much money comes in, that is how much leaks back out. Whatever wealth you earn, it is hard to hold on to for the long run. I am not saying this to frighten you. In Feng Shui, an empty vase is the picture of a family with nothing set aside. On top of that, you have probably noticed that a vase usually has a wide, swelling base, a narrow neck, and a mouth that flares open. It looks just like the jar our grandparents used to keep their valuables in, the one they buried under the bed. But when that jar is empty, and it also sits in a spot in the house that is not right for it, your family can run into bad luck that you never had to have. So which spots are the ones to avoid? Today, I am going to share with you the spots where a lot of families still keep a vase without ever realizing that it may be the reason money keeps slipping away. That said, besides the spots I share in this video, there are still many others. If you are curious, leave your thoughts down in the comments and I will reveal them for you in a later video. For now, let us walk through each spot to avoid, along with the ways to fix it at the end of the video. That way, if you happen to have a vase sitting in a spot that is not right, you will still have a way to rearrange things so your home feels tidy and warm, and the money you earn stays inside the house. Location 1. The front door. Take a look around and you will see it. A lot of homes have a tall ceramic vase standing right beside the door. Some homes set out a pair, one on each side, to keep things symmetrical. Others keep a small empty vase on top of the shoe cabinet, right where you take off your shoes as you step in. But in form, school Feng Shui, which is the way of reading a house, a position and the shape of an object to tell what is good and what is bad, the front door is called the mouth of energy. Your whole house has only one mouth to welcome in everything good from the outside, and that mouth is the front door. When you place an empty vase there, the flow of money and fortune coming into the house slowly slides right back out. And in everyday life, the way I see it, a vase set by the door always catches the sun, takes the draft, and shakes every single time the door opens and closes. Over time, it starts to crack, and once a vase has cracked, how can it hold anything inside anymore? So the money for your household scatters off to both sides the moment it reaches the door and never makes it deep into the home. Money still comes and goes, sure, but it comes in and leaves again, and very little of it stays behind. Location 2. The worship area. Take a look up at your family altar. What is inside the flower vase up there? Fresh flowers, or just a dry vase with no flowers and not a drop of water left in it? In Feng Shui, the altar is the most solemn place in a home. It is where children and grandchildren show their sincerity toward their ancestors, so everything placed up there needs a clear purpose. Not just anything can go up there simply because it looks nice. Our grandparents even had a custom for this, called vase in the east and fruit in the west, meaning the flower vase is set on the eastern side and the plate of fruit on the western side. When they gave the vase a fixed spot like that, you can understand how important the vase was. It sits there to hold fresh flowers offered to the ancestors. But when you leave that vase empty, Feng Shui sees it as the descendants growing careless about the incense and being less than thoughtful toward their ancestors. And that can affect your family in two ways. First is the money. For families who run a business, the altar is seen as the place to ask for blessings and for the support of the ancestors. When the altar goes cold, your business can hit obstacles. A deal on its way to you gets blocked halfway. Payments come back slower, and sometimes you chase them forever and still come up empty. Money still comes in, but you keep having to cover odd expenses out of nowhere. Next is life inside the home. When the altar is cold, it is harder for the family to stay at peace. Husband and wife, parents and children start trading words over the smallest things, and the shared meal slowly loses the sound of the younger ones laughing. Location 3. The head of the bed. The head of the bed is the spot in the house that needs to be the quietest and the steadiest. All day long you are moving around, working, worrying, and you only have those few hours at night to get your health back. So when you put an empty vase, especially the tall kind with a narrow neck and a flared mouth, right above the head of someone lying down, the clearest effect is that your sleep gets disturbed. You lie down at night and your eyes are still open, one thought leading into the next, and it takes an hour before you drift off. Then at 1 or 2 in the morning, you are awake again, lying there forever before sleep comes back. In the morning, your mind is foggy and you cannot think anything through properly. When sleep is that poor, your mind cannot stay sharp at work. You mix up numbers when you add and subtract money. You make mistakes signing paperwork. If yours is a family that sells things, you lose your quickness. A customer asks about an item and you answer slowly, so they walk off and buy somewhere else. A good order comes right into your hands and you cannot catch it, and it slips away. And if you work for a paycheck, the tasks handed to you take longer, your supervisor keeps reminding you, and the raise or the promotion gets pushed back year after year. As for the relationship between husband and wife, when you keep an empty vase in the bedroom, the feelings between the two of you tend to cool off, and a third person can work their way in. Even small things at home turn into arguments. And once a couple is at odds, the money in that house is hard to hold on to. Nobody talks anything over with anybody. The husband buys something and the wife does not know. The wife picks something up and the husband has no idea. You plan to set aside a sum for land, for fixing up the house, for the children, and it stalls halfway because the two of you are no longer aiming at the same thing. Location 4. The bathroom. When it comes to the bathroom, a lot of you are probably thinking that no household would ever put a ceramic vase in there, but I see quite a few families running into this very problem. For example, some homes set a small ceramic jar on the sink counter. Some put a porcelain vase right on the toilet lid, or stand a tall vase in the corner of the bathroom to make the room feel warmer and give it fresher energy. And some keep the vase just outside, right up against the bathroom door. But here is the thing. The bathroom is considered the place where the whole house drains out. Water flushes away. The waste goes out with it, and the flow of energy in the home follows it right out. This is also the place that holds the most foul energy, meaning air that is dirty, damp, and unclean. And an empty vase already carries the meaning of lost wealth and emptiness on its own. When you put an empty vase here, two bad things meet in the same place. And that tends to drain the good energy out of the home, so fortune leaks away without you ever noticing. On top of that, the foul energy in the bathroom spreads into the rooms that share a wall with it. If your bedroom or your kitchen sits next to the bathroom, you may notice people in the house getting sick often. A headache today, a runny nose tomorrow. Medicine helps for a bit, and a few days later it comes right back. And once health is unsteady, the household money follows right along. Every month, there is medicine to buy and doctor visits to pay for. Today, one person is sick. Tomorrow, another one is worn out. You have to ask for time off work and you lose the day of pay. If you run a shop, you have to close for a few days, and the regulars who keep finding the door shut start buying somewhere else. Whatever money you earn keeps getting pulled back out to cover expenses you never should have had, and you save and never get ahead. Location 5. The desk and the study table. Just about every home has this one, as long as somebody goes to work or somebody goes to school. On a desk, a lot of people keep a small glass jar or a cute little ceramic vase that came as part of a stationery set. It is the same on a child's study table. Next to the stack of books sits an empty jar. Once in a while, there are flowers in it, but when the flowers wilt, they get left there anyway. Or the vase gets used once and then stays empty for good. Meanwhile, the desk is the place that carries your career forward and carries the future of your children and grandchildren forward, step by step. So this is an area to look after carefully, and you should think twice about anything you put on it. In the office Feng Shui material I have read, there is a term called leaking wealth. Leaking wealth means money seeping out, money flowing away that you cannot hold on to, like a bucket with a small hole in the bottom, water dripping out drop by drop while you have no idea it is happening. And little by little, your work keeps ending up unfinished. You take on everything, you put in the effort and the energy, and nothing comes out whole. A contract gets to the edge of signing and the other side changes their mind. A project is nearly done and the boss says stop. You put in a lot and the money comes back in a trickle. And for families with children in school, an empty jar on the study table is seen as bringing bad luck to their exams. The child sits down to study and struggles to focus, learning one thing and forgetting the last, and the results stay stuck around average no matter how hard the child keeps working. Location 6. Under the stairs. Under the stairs. This is the spot where I see people keep the most things. From appliances and everyday items all the way to empty vases nobody uses anymore. It all ends up in there. But the space under the stairs is what Feng Shui calls the dead corner of the house. A dead corner means a corner where the energy in the house arrives and then stops and cannot move on. It is dark. Nobody goes there. Nobody lays eyes on it. Energy comes and goes and circulates through the rest of the home, but in that one corner, the flow just sits still, going stale day after day. And now you take an empty vase and set it right into that corner where the flow has stopped. On one side is energy that has gone still and has nowhere to go. On the other side is a vase that carries the meaning of emptiness and lost wealth. Two bad energies meeting in the same place multiply each other and then spread out little by little through the whole house, which is why the money in your home keeps shrinking and you cannot tell why. Every month there is a shortfall. The savings you set aside for something big keep getting dipped into, a little here and a little there, for small things that come up. And by the time you actually need it, you open it up and there is barely anything left. Now that we have gone through those spots, is your home guilty of any of them? If you have already put an empty vase in one of them, here are the adjustments you can make. First, put fresh flowers in the vase. A vase was made to hold flowers, so give it back its own job. Any flower works. Chrysanthemums, tuberoses, gladiolus, gerbera daisies, as long as they are fresh. When the flowers wilt, pull them out right away. Do not leave dead flowers sitting in the vase, because dead flowers bring even more bad luck into your home than an empty vase does. Second, put things inside the vase that stand for abundance. If your home has large vases, ceramic vases, or tall floor vases that cannot hold flowers, you can put a handful of rice, some grain, some coins, a few white pebbles, or a few pieces of quartz inside. As long as there is something inside the vase, it is no longer empty, and it can help your family draw more fortune into the house. Third, move the vase somewhere else. There are spots where even a vase with flowers and water in it still should not go. The bathroom, for example. The best thing to do is take the vase out of there completely and not try to keep it. A bathroom should be left clear and dry. The same goes for under the stairs. Do not turn it into a storage room. Once you have moved the vase out of there, do not fill the space back up with something else. That corner should be left open and airy. You could add a small light to brighten it up, or set a healthy green plant there, so the flow of energy in that spot starts moving again. As for the head of the bed, move the vase over to the vanity, onto a low shelf, or take it out to the living room entirely. If you want flowers in the bedroom, choose a small, low vase and keep it a little distance away from the bed. Fourth, a word about the vase on the altar. The vase on the altar should hold fresh flowers. If you have not had a chance to buy flowers, pour in some clean water and do not let it sit dry. And remember to keep the vase a certain distance from the incense bowl, about 16 to 24 inches, which is roughly 40 to 60 centimeters, so the incense ash does not fall inside. If your altar has only one flower vase, then following the custom of vase in the east and fruit in the west, you place the vase on the left side as you look at the altar from the front. And if you are not using the vase anymore, put it away in a cabinet or in a box and cover it up. Do not leave it out on display, sitting empty. Once you have taken care of that empty vase, Feng Shui considers the jar with the hole in the bottom to be patched up. The money you earn stays inside the house instead of flowing out the way it used to, and what you put away slowly fills up. With these spots and these adjustments for the empty vase in your home, I hope you can tidy up and rearrange your own house. When a home is set up sensibly, that is when it truly becomes a warm place that brings peace, steadies the mind, and supports a growing career. And finally, if you have any questions, any thoughts, or any suggestions about what we talked about today, leave your comments down below. Every person sees things a little differently, and every household has its own experience, and your comment just might become the topic of our next video. Thank you for listening all the way to the end of the video. I wish you and your family health and peace. See you in the next videos.